friends. Hey, Graham Squad. What's up, y'all? Friends, I'm so excited that I am finally live on YouTube. Y'all just don't even understand how long I've been waiting to do this. Let me move this over so y'all can hear me. Oh my God. I feel like I've been running all over trying to get this done. And honestly, y'all, it's just too much to try and edit right now. If y'all are on my TikTok page and y'all follow me there, I love y'all so much. It's a lot. We gotta have commercial breaks. Commercial breaks. Sometimes we have a little ads. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start practicing because this show is gonna be sponsored soon. Cause y'all know we speak things and then they start happening. So we're gonna say today's show is sponsored by whomever is gonna be in the future. Okay, y'all with me on that. But anyway, I do feel like I owe a shout out to some of my friends because it has been probably like 4 months since I've been on YouTube. And I apologize. I'm gonna do better in the relationship. But I got my friends up right here. So William Best, shout out to you, friend. Is Salone 5783 or is that I Salone? I don't know. It's Miss Villain to you. Thank you, friends, for being there. Sakita Boykin, I appreciate you. Olivia, I appreciate you, friend, for checking on me out. Olivia came through, was checking on me. She was like, where you been? What are you doing? What is going on? That's what I need sometimes. The end of 2024 was crazy, and 2025 started off with a bang. So, I appreciate y'all. Brandy Kirk, Nina Nanny Nee. These are people who commented on my video back like 4 months ago. I did drop I would say an exclusive video for YouTube over here about the FBI director that was really born pretty much black, but passed as white. And I did not put that on TikTok. That's pretty controversial. I thought I'd bring it over here to y'all. So if y'all on YouTube, y'all saw the video. If you're not, then you didn't see it. But today I felt like we needed to do a just group all the fallen angel stuff in together because y'all really seem to like that content over on TikTok and you really don't get a lot of time. Ain't nobody got time to be sitting waiting 10, 15, 20 minutes talking about the fallen angels. We want to know what happened right now. So I feel like we should cover that today. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And if you want different content, just please drop down in the comment section and let me know. But we are live. We're live and in color. This is not pre-recorded. I didn't edit this. So whatever I mess up and say, I just messed up and say. Hopefully the YouTube guys, little G, don't, get me and shut me down. Because you know how they feel about conspiracy stuff now. But let's talk about the fallen angels. To me, in my opinion, and I hope y'all can hear me. But in my opinion, I feel like there is a lot of supporting evidence that they do exist. Now, when you look up fallen angels, it'll say mythology because, you can't force your beliefs on nobody. But there is evidence of fallen angels in the Bible, which I personally don't feel like is mythology. There are fallen angels evidence in the Apocrypha. The book of Enoch is not a part of the Hebrew Bible, like King James Version and New International Version, all of that. That's not a part of that Bible, but it is a part of the Ethiopic Bible. Okay, that's the people of Ethiopia. They read the book of Enoch, was Enoch 1, Enoch 2, the Watchers, that type of thing. That's in their Bible. So we can't be telling people what's real and fake. We just gonna say what we read and what we understood, what we inferred from the text. So one of the main questions I feel like everyone asked about the fallen angel friends is how did they come down and see the daughters of man and sleep with them and hunch on them? Like they feel like a lot of people feel like angels are just those spinny eye things, you know what I'm talking about? Like not real or not like real human beings. And they want to know how in the world did they come down, see the daughters of men, think it was fair, and sleep with them. Here's my first thing to say to you. Do you think a succubus or what is it, a incubus, succubus, do you think they are real beings? Are they demons? They're not really of this world, but they can hunch on you in the bed. You get what I'm saying? In every folklore, even when it comes to Zeus. Zeus was a god, and he would come down and take a form of a man and sleep with the women. I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that, yes, hunching is a fleshly thing, right? But there is also a spiritual connection that happens when you hunch on somebody. It's called soul ties, and you be wondering why you're talking like somebody, not just smelling like somebody. You picking up their lingo, you liking the same stuff they like, you dislike the same. You be attaching yourself to stuff. So hunching is not just a physical thing. I think it is also spiritual, and that's what the angels was doing. So when you look at the different texts, friends, there is the book of Enoch 1 and 2, and then there's also the book of Jubilees. And there are different Excuse me, y'all. I didn't mean to burp like that, but this water is in there. But there are different explanations as to what the watchers were. So in the book of Enoch, the watchers were given free will to watch over the man, right? I mean, well, they weren't supposed to interfere with man, they were just supposed to watch over men. But they decided 200 of them decided to come down to earth and sleep with the women because they thought that they looked good. And baby, you see it. That the girls do be looking good. You know what I'm saying? You like what you like. So they started watching, they started falling in love with the people. In the book of Jubilees, it says that the watchers were told to go down and be in with men and persuade them to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like be in the midst of them. And then they chose to interfere and do all of that. But we're gonna stick with Enoch. And basically what happened was the watchers came down, there was 200 of them, and they all had a leader. They all had a leader. I thought it was strange because I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be in a group with a leader. It's 200 of us. Mm-mm. And really, honestly, it was all like a hoax, right? So they all came together. The head one, I never called him by their name. Do you hear me say shimmy, shimmy, ah? That's not a name. But if you look up his name, you'll see it's very similar to that because I'm not calling nothing into existence where I am, friend, or where you are. But shimmy, shimmy, y'all felt like, I want to go down there and hunch on these women, but I feel like y'all not going to go with me. And I need some type of confirmation that y'all going to go because I'm not going to get in trouble by myself. So like followers, they all decided to go down. There were 12 groups. Each of them, of course, had a leader or like a chief, one that was in charge. But the problem was not just in, from what I read, them sleeping with the women friends. It was in what they taught the people and then the offspring that they had. So they come down and it says that they knew the women. Some interpretations say that they married the women or they took a wife onto them or whatever. And once they hunch, now I'm gonna say hunch, friend, because we don't say stuff to get us in trouble over here. They had offspring, and the offspring were evil. It wasn't even the fact that they were giants, but they were evil. Could you imagine a giant just wasn't? Never mind. It's too much. I can't. Mm-mm. They had to. I don't want to say this, but you can't finish. I would have, sir, get off of me. You cannot finish because you see that giant that just bust up out of there. I don't want no parts of it. Anyway, so the giants was evil and consuming everything. But prior to that, not only was that happening, friends, but the angels were teaching the women the secrets of heaven. That's the problem. That is a problem. And when people think about like, what is the secret of heaven, friend? Like, what? I mean, what do we not know? You know, the Bible tells us a lot of things that's pretty much right in our face, but we don't believe it. We want to go by like manifestation and all that great stuff. The Bible says speak things and they'll come to pass. Same thing. Same thing. You know, you want to pray to the universe? That's fine. That's what you want to pray to. Or you can pray to the person that made the universe or whomever. You know, whatever you believe, that's your belief. But they started teaching the women all kinds of stuff that should not have been known to men. So this is where things get all messy and crisscross, all applesauce, all of that, which became a huge problem because we were not supposed to know these things. So I'm going to go to what some of them taught that was bad and why some of them got the worst punishment. So one of the chiefs of the 12 groups, which is strange because they had 12 groups in the fallen angels, and then you have the 12 tribes of Judah. It's so many correlations, friends. It's crazy to me. Like, just if you read it, you ain't got to read it to believe and be religious, but just read it because it's a good read. Like, it's good. So a few of the things that the angels taught was warfare. That was Azazel. Azazel taught warfare, which is horrible because then you teach people how to do what? Take each other's lives and do evil things. And why do you want the folk fighting on the earth? We all supposed to be together, living in harmony in the garden, enjoying our lives together. But what we want to fight for? I don't feel like fighting. I mean, I will if I have to, but baby, I don't want to fight. I really don't feel like doing that. But Azazel taught them warfare. He also taught them deception. When you say deception, look, friend, don't come for me because I said, now how I get in this because I like my makeup. But he taught the women how to adorn themselves with makeup and jewelry, cosmetic, like hair, dye, all that type of stuff. I feel like that was a good thing because don't you feel real cute and pretty when you put in your little makeup, throw you on a cute little wig, do your nails? It's not necessarily, it can be deception, but it's what's on the inside that count. We feel good when we get ourselves together, girls. We feel good. I don't understand what the problem is. But apparently we weren't supposed to know that. I guess they was in heaven doing their makeup, but down here we can't do it. This is, of course, according to the book of Enoch. So, Shimmy Shimmy Ya, who was the leader of all of them, taught them enchantment. So that's like spells, teaching you how to do spells. And like, that's not a good thing if you're like, for instance, trying to make somebody love you. That should come natural. You should not force nobody into doing anything. You should let things happen as they happen, right? Some of those things that just should not have been taught to mankind. You know, if you're reading the text from a non-fictional standpoint, or if you're reading it from a fiction standpoint, all of that, you would think to yourself, don't teach the people how to manipulate or, deceive others or hurt others, like that type of thing. Common sense. Um, and there was another angel. I'm not gonna make up all these names for the angels, but y'all can go back and look, that taught how to undo the spells. So Shimmy Shimmy y'all taught them how to do the spells. Another one taught them how to undo the spells. And it's kind of like, that's the like giving you the test and then somebody giving you the answers to the test, that I feel like we're supposed to learn as human beings going through life, experiencing things. You know what I'm saying, friends? Like, if I give you the test and then the answers to the test, you ain't learned nothing. You ain't figured it out for yourself. You ain't really got free will now, do you? You just cheating. They were taught astrology. Astrology was not supposed to be taught. Like, and y'all know back in the day, I really used to get confused about what astronomy and astrology was. Don't act like y'all didn't get confused, because I really felt like that, friend. Like, I'm gonna just tell you, because I know you ain't gonna tell my business. But I really used to think like, which one, what's the difference? But astrology is, what is it, friends? Astrology is like the Virgo, Cancer, all of that, like your birth sign and all of that. And then astronomy would be outer space, like going to outer space, like the stars, planet, moon, which they kind of align with each other. Well, not kind of, they do. They align with each other. And constellations and all that good stuff. But they were not supposed to know that. So there was an angel that taught that, and then of course there was an angel that taught astronomy. Now, some of these angels you see in like regular TV shows. Like, if you ever seen Lucifer, a lot of these fallen angel names is in Lucifer, including Lucifer, because he was a fallen angel too, right? The morning star that fell from the heavens, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him. There was also an angel that taught where the Lord had taught them the signs of the sky and the seasons and that type of thing. Um, and not good. None of those things were good. There were solar mysteries, lunar cycles, and medicine. So, there were the cutting of roots and all types of things that those angels taught the women. And that just corrupted man. That's all it did. It corrupted man. It made them just do the things that they now had access to. It's like giving a kid candy. You wouldn't give your car keys to like a 10-year-old and say, hey, take my Ferrari for a spin. He's going to go crazy with it, right? He's going to hurt himself. And that's what pretty much happened. Aside from all the things that they taught the people, which caused them to rise up against each other and become corrupt, you got the doggone giants that are evil. Evil, running out of food, growing, began to eat the people, ate all the stock, ate all the crops, destroyed the land. So at that point in the book of Enoch, it talks about how God said, you know what? Gabriel, get down there. Told the archangel Gabriel, go down there, find the people, cause the children to rise up against their fathers, which were the fallen angels, and make them slay each other. Problem solved. But that was not all. So the people were supposed to be punished. The fallen angels were supposed to be punished by having to slay their own kids. But then he also sent the great flood that was supposed to destroy every living thing. But if you continue to read the book of Enoch, you'll see that the angels also created monsters, right? You say, well, how they create monsters, friend? The monsters had to be destroyed as well. The monsters was hybrids. They were going out in the fields. They were getting beasts and cattle and all kinds of living flock, crop. Not flock, crop. See, this is live and I can't even get it right. But they were getting all types of living beasts in the field. When I say beasts, I'm talking about animals. And they were cross breeding them like a science experiment. And I feel like it's a bunch of animals that don't make sense. And again, when I say animals, I'm talking about everything that is not a human being. Okay. I know an insect ain't an animal. I know that you got mammals in the water and all kinds of fish and octopus and invertebrate, all these different things that you got. I'm just calling everything animals now. I ain't slow. But octopus, the immortal jellyfish, giant squid. You have you seen the eye of of a giant squid. Have you seen that? Is that what they're called? Is it a giant or something else? Either way, it looked like it's not supposed to be here, friend. It looked like something that somebody made up. It's some animals. Kangaroo look like deer demon rabbits, man, with muscles. Like it just looked like these things, these animals are suffering like they were just bred, but just mixed up. So, all this stuff is going on, and at that point, God had to send the flood. Now we go back to the Bible, you see that the flood is in the Bible. And it was very brief about what it explained that the flood was coming. There was giants in those days. God repented at the creation, meaning that he was just sad about how the people was just evil and running amok, and it had to be destroyed. There is evidence of a flood. That's another thing that gets me. There is evidence of a great flood that took place. Almost every religion, almost every um, civilization origin has some type of flood story. Everybody ain't lying, friends. That's just how I feel. Everybody can't be lying because what? Everybody just got a flood story that's very similar. Even the Epic of Gilgamesh, there was a flood story, and that's the oldest story known to man that man has discovered. I'm not saying that's the oldest story that has ever been told. Well, really, it is. It is. If it's the oldest one that man discovered, it's the oldest one that ever been told. Child, don't mind me. It's water. This is water in here, y'all. But there's a flood story in every culture, just about. It's like 200 and some flood stories out there. They say the same thing. But the flood definitely came. I believe that. And supposedly destroyed everything. But let's go back to the book of Enoch and find out why it could have possibly not destroyed every living thing. Because at some point during the story, the monsters and the giants came together because some of them, the titans, the giants, were having nightmares about their end, like coming to an end, having demise, like not being anymore. So the giants shared that information with the monsters, and it was just like, well, actually, it was the monsters that had the dream. And it was just like, everybody was like, well, it's not gonna be us today. They get destroyed because we didn't ask to be here. That don't matter. Are you evil? Are you benevolent? Like, are you a bad person? Like, not even a person, being. You're hybrid. You're part fallen angel. Like, you're not supposed to be here. You a monster. You're hybrid. Like, you're two different animals mixed together. Like, you're beast. Like, this is an abomination, literally, to God, according to the fallen angel story. And the monsters was for sure like, no, it's not gonna be us. It's gonna be the angels. It's gonna be a Zay Zay and Shimmy Shimmy Ya and them. Like, they the ones that started all of this. We ain't got nothing to do with it. So at that point, the Titan decided, let me go talk to Enoch, because Enoch had the answers in this book. That's why he got in the Apocrypha. That's why he's got those stories. That's why he's got Enoch 1, Enoch 2. That's why there's so much. And let's just stop for a moment and realize that Enoch was that man. He was that dude. He got snatched up by God. Like, he didn't even have to go and experience what it's like to go on to glory. I mean, when he went on to glory without having to take the long sleep. Y'all know what I'm saying? Without having to be DEAD. Okay? He was a man after God's own heart, and he was taken away to be with God. Now, don't that also sound like an alien abduction? I don't know, friends. Some people say that Enoch was abducted by aliens, but I wasn't there, okay? I don't know. I was still with God. I was still in heaven. He hadn't sent me down. He said I won't come down to 1990. That's when my time was scheduled to be here. It was not in whatever year Enoch was walking the land for a few years until he was caught up to go be with God. But clearly he had, VIP access, direct line phone number. Hey, God, big God. What's going on? It's Tuesday. That was Enoch's relationship with God. Sorry, y'all. That's the pizza here. But that was Enoch's relationship with God. So the giants was like, what else should we do but go talk to Enoch? So the Titan flew from the earthly realm, and it says that he left the earthly realm to go and be with Enoch. And he asked Enoch, like, hey, look, dreams are happening. And the dreams are saying that we're going to perish, the giants and the monsters. And I just came to confirm with you that we ain't got nothing to do with it, right? Enoch said, hold on real quick. Got his book out. You going down. You going straight down, buddy. Don't even consider not going down, because you are. I want you to get that in your mind. Whoever had the dream, they was right. They got a gift, but too bad. So sad, your mama, your dad. You going down. And he then told the giant. But, you know, you could pray. You could pray. And all of this could, God could forgive you. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's your options. Now, keep in mind that Enoch was a righteous man. But even when the angels got caught up, Enoch didn't even feel worthy enough to pray for them, for their forgiveness. He said, I'm not worthy enough to pray for the angels. That's why he got caught. That's why he got caught up. Because I feel like had I been up there and I ain't had to experience DAD or, the long sleep, I would have been like, let me get my seat. Let it go back. Hold on, y'all. I would have been up there like, you ain't getting in. Get out. You're not getting in. You're not coming in here, buddy. Don't even consider. I would have been a little, what do you want? Peephole, what's the password? I am the bouncer. I check everybody at the door. Your name is not on the list. Get back, Jack. You know, but Enoch said he didn't feel worthy. So the giant, of course, went back and told him, like, yeah, we going away from here. Soon and very soon. You're going to see somebody, and it's not going to be the king. It's going to be judgments on your mama and your daddy because they shouldn't have had done what they did. So anyway, monsters knew they were going to be destroyed in the flood, but they had the option to ask for forgiveness. So maybe them asking for forgiveness was what kept the giants on earth after the flood, but we're going to get there. So let's switch back over to the fallen angels. Shimmy, Shimmy, Yah, Azazel, all of them. Now they've had to rise up and slay some of their offspring, which were the Nephilim. And could you imagine that? Could you imagine having to come down here and be so horned up in your pants, horn dog, that you got to sleep with humans like a succubus or an incubus or, whatever them things is called. And you end up getting them pregnant. So now you're a baby daddy. And you a deadbeat baby daddy because your children is running all around the earth doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And they're giants and they're evil, and you decide not only am I going to make big evil giants, but I'm going to make monsters too. Why would you come tear up God's creation like that? Nobody thought that wasn't a good idea. The leader, Shimmy, Shimmy, y'all, you didn't think that was a good idea. So at that point, God said, y'all going to face judgment. And he said, sent Gabriel down to imprison them and to do it in the middle of nowhere. Now, some people say that's in the desert somewhere in the Middle East. I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope it's not even on this planet. I hope it's on another planet and we just don't know about it because it's like Earth 2, something like the Flash. We think that this is the only Earth, but maybe it's a planet inside our planet, child. I have no idea. There's so many possibilities of what it could be. We don't know everything. We don't know everything, okay? Just like I'm going to tell y'all this story next time I get up here about this alien that said they live inside the Earth and that they were here and they not the aliens, that we are. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. We're gonna come back to that. But the angels were going to face judgment. And so the angels went to Enoch and said, look, because now they're scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. What Ryan y'all ever watch him on the news channel? Not news channel, on YouTube. He do the weather. Don't be scared. Be prepared. You wanted to come down here and get some hind parts. You got them. I'm sure it felt great and amazing for the moment that it lasted 2 minutes, 10 minutes, however long. You had some big giant babies, and now you're going to have to face the music. That's kind of what we go through here. We do something that we know is wrong, and we do it anyway. And we know it's going to be some repercussions behind it. And it don't even got to be that somebody punishing us, but just, is what it is. Anywho, yeah, I feel like I'm getting the white stuff on my lip gloss. I hope not. If I am, just ignore it because we friends over here. The angels, they're facing judgment at this point. And they asked Enoch, like, please go and ask God to forgive us. Like, we really sorry about it. And it's kind of like, are you really sorry about it, or are you sorry you got caught? Which one is it? They claim they were sorry about it. So Enoch went to God and said, hey, look, Shimmy, Shimmy, y'all is sorry. Azazel, he's sorry. Coco Loco, he said he's sorry too. God said, nope, absolutely not. I'm not trying to hear it. Because look down at Enoch. Look at what's going on. You get what I'm saying? God said no. Where they wanted to be is where they at, and that's where they're gonna stay until judgment. So he locked them in there for like what 70 times 7 generations. You see the word, you see the number seven a lot in the Bible. Like seven is completion, and 70 times 70 is how many times you need to forgive your brother. But he said you're gonna be in here. Y'all gonna be down there locked up. And there are two different prisons. There's a torture prison that's for the angels that Enoch saw, and he thought this is for the beings, the human beings. Like this is crazy. And Gabriel had to tell Enoch that no, this ain't for humans. Y'all can't handle this. This for the angels. This is for the ones that fell from heaven, trying to climb in some hind parts, trying to see what that was like. He said the humans can't even handle that. So I don't even want to know what was in the torture prison because and this stuff is so fascinating. These are good reads. I would suggest that all of y'all just take the time to just read a book yourselves so you get your own interpretation from it. But this is what I understood from it. And that's where the angels remain. Now, let's stop. Let's pause right there because the book of Giants, ends abruptly. These stories came from the Dead Sea Scrolls, and these Dead Sea Scrolls were found in the cave in like 1957, okay? 1947, 1957. Recent. I have an aunt that was born in 1957, so this is recent. That doesn't mean that that's where the Bible came from, okay? These are just the Bible that we read today, Hebrew Bible, any Bible really, were already published prior to the discovery, excuse me, of the Dead Sea Scrolls. But the Dead Sea Scrolls do confirm, like the first four books of the Bible, it supports some of the New Testament. Like friends, these scrolls were hidden in this cave, were locked up in this cave. Nobody knew about them until these people looking for their sheep, their dog, or something went in there and found them, and just happened to start. They sold them to an antique person. The antique person found a Bible scholar that found them and pieced these scrolls back together. And lo and behold, it's matching it with stories that are in the Bible. Okay. So I know people will feel like, oh, this was removed from the Bible, or this wasn't real, or that's not real. It's your job to figure out what you want to believe. And it's not my job to convince you. All I'm doing is merely telling you the story, friend, because it's interesting to me. Okay. Don't take my word for it. Read it yourself. So we go back over to the Bible. We see after the great flood in Genesis, God tells us that he was going to send a flood to destroy the evilness that was going on the planet. And he chose one person, Noah. Noah was upright, righteous man. Now, if I was Noah, I would have said, now God, Enoch got to go. Enoch got to get caught up. Can you catch me up? I want to be caught up in the rapture, going to see you. Caught up in the rapture, love. I don't want to experience the long sleep because how Enoch get to go? What I got to do? Give me the steps. That's what I would have said probably. But Enoch was caught up. Noah was not, but he was righteous, and God felt like he was going to spare him and his family. Now, it was Noah and his three sons and his three sons' wives that had to build this ark and take the animals on the ark, and it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights and flood the land. And, they were going to send the bird out back and forth until the bird didn't come back. So they knew the bird landed on dry land. And that happened. They parked the boat, got out, and was like, whoo, we made it. Okay. That's the high level. That's the cliff notes. Okay. High level understanding overview. But then it also says there were giants in those days and after. So where did after come from if it said there was no living thing that survived the flood except for the people that was on the boat? Was it a giant sleeping down in the chambers on the boat? Was he down there pumping the coals to get the boat to go? I know it wasn't no coals. I'm just joking, but maybe it was. We don't know. I wonder, was you there? Were you there when they crucified my Jesus? Were you there? We don't know. Anywho, so that got me to thinking. I had to do a little research, and I come across a conspiracy theory friend that says that the giant Nephilim bloodline was in Noah's sons' wives. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. And I think that they got here because when you look further, I think Book of Deuteronomy, when you see Moses, where's that Numbers? Numbers or Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy. What is going on? Child, let me calm down. Look at the Old Testament. Exodus, Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, not Kings, that's too far. But when you look in the Old Testament, you will see when Moses is leading the people, right, in the wilderness, 40 days and 40 nights, just like the storm. When he's leading the people in the wilderness, they're supposed to be going to the promised land, which was the land of milk and honey. which was Canaan. Okay. Canaan is a direct descendant of Noah through his son Ham. So Noah had three sons: Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Okay. Now there is this idea out there that Ham was black. I ain't seen nowhere in the Bible where it say Ham was black. But I think that people gathered this because Ham had children whose name were Cush, Put, Egypt, and Canaan. And we know that people originating from the African continent is of darker skin, okay? But we also know that black women can birth all different colors, all different kinds. The entire rainbow a black woman can birth. So we really don't know. We don't know what these people look like. Ham also means dark. It does not mean black. It just means darker skin. These are people who are out in the sun. Okay. You would think there's like not nomad, but I would need the hunter gatherer is way earlier. We're talking about scientific versus we're talking about creationism versus evolution. But when you look at the demographics of where people would be outside dealing with livestock, planting, gathering things, and just being in the wilderness, they're probably going to have a darker skin tone. And I think that goes for all of the sons. But they would say that Ham, Japheth, and Shem or Sem birthed all of the different nations, the 12 tribes of Judah, and so forth. That's going too deep. But listen to me. Ham had a son named Canaan. And Canaan, of course, had the land of Canaan, which was the land of milk and honey. And when Moses finally reached the land of milk and honey and he sent Joshua and Caleb to go and see what was going on over there, they saw giants. And they said the giants were descendants of the giant Enoch, and Enoch was the Nephilim. Now, how did Enoch and his descendants make it to the land of Canaan? And then this is third generation Noah family. How did they, this is the land of Canaan. How did the giants get there if they all perished in the flood? So one could infer from the text that maybe they were Canaan's kids. Maybe they were descendants from Canaan. That's what some people like to say or think, that they came from Canaan and his wife, or Canaan's father, which was Ham, and his wife. So I'm sorry, Ham's wife was the one who was supposed to have the Nephilim blood. And then you also see that Canaan has offspring, not offspring, but descendants who are Philistine. And David and Goliath, we all know the story of that, where David was small and he fought this big giant. Now, we don't know if he was like 13 feet tall. We don't know if he was just 6'5", and David maybe was like 5'2". So he felt like a giant. Somebody run up on you a whole foot taller than you might be a little shook. Like, I'm gonna have to get the kneecaps. I'm gonna have to do something to, help me out. That could have been the case. There are some scholars that are saying that Goliath was not a giant, but the name Goliath just sounds big. We're going to go with it for right now, just to support the theory, the conspiracy theory. So we got the Philistines who had the giant Goliath. Goliath apparently had a brother. Then you have Canaan's land, which was the land of milk and honey that was overflowing with all these beautiful, fruit, grapes, or whatever. I can only think that it was by the Nile, because everything there was large, including the giants. Even though Joshua and Caleb ended up driving the giants out of the land, it didn't say that they sent them on the glory. It said that they drove them out of the land, so they didn't necessarily pass away. Where did they go? We know they left Canaan, but we don't know where they went. So did that mean that they continue to reproduce? Is that what this is how my brain works, friends? Is that what we be seeing in the mountains when people be saying it's a Yeti? Y'all seen that video on TikTok? If I wasn't live, I'm gonna have to Google and go through all this stuff. It's a video on TikTok where somebody was literally in the woods recording, and there was like a Bigfoot. That sounds so mean. A Yeti or something in the woods that kind of ducked behind a tree like that, and they recorded. My soul would have left my body. And then the guy, of course, is saying that he saw the giant and he disappeared and ended up like no longer with us. Are they like hiding in the mountains? Are they the Yeti, the Bigfoot, or what's the other name for it? I can't think of it. It's multiple names for them. The redhead giants that are in the Middle East. Like, is that where these offspring went, because maybe they just hid because they knew that our kind was going to get rid of them. I don't know. Or maybe they're working with the powers that be to create all kinds of stuff, because there were like giant caves and giant chairs and all kinds of stuff in the Grand Canyon. That's a whole nother story too. But y'all can go click on another story time I have on my page. I think I have one on my YouTube channel where I do long form break that down with the evidence, the articles, and all of that. Supposedly like Smithsonian covering up things allegedly. But what happened to the giants that were in the land of Canaan? Not only does the Bible mention that, but it also mentions the Rephaim. The Rephaim is considered two different things. The descendants of the Nephilim, Rephaim was like a group because there were different types of Nephilim based on the different types of angels, whoever they hunched on, different people, different women. But the Rephaim was also mentioned in with King Og. King Og was said to have a bed. It was 13 feet long. That ain't no California king. 13 feet long and 6 feet wide, 6.5 feet wide. 6.5 feet wide is not very wide at all, but 13.5 feet long is crazy. Why would we need it that long? I can still would need it that wide if you got 15 wives laying in the bed with you. But unless you're gonna line them up, you know what I'm saying? You need it wide. You probably want 13 feet wide, but you had it 13 feet long. Unless they slept the opposite way, like horizontal instead of vertical. You know what I'm saying? Like this. Anyway, that's my brain. That's how my brain works. So you hear all of this talk of giants in the Bible. Then you see in the world, they say ain't no such thing, ain't no evidence, but you keep seeing these pictures pop up for evidence that people love to call AI, but AI ain't been around that long for us. For us now. It's been on CGI AI, they've been doing that with the moon and the stars forever. I ain't seen a real picture of Mars yet. They love, or Jupiter yet. They love to say, this is the real picture. Is it? Or is it a composite? CGI frame by frame that you done colored and added color and all this stuff. Give me the real picture. I want to see what it looked like when the rover or the Discover or whatever y'all got flying through outer space zoomed by and took a picture. Let me see that one. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see what you done put together in pic art did stuff. So CGI and stuff has been around for a while, but AI for us has just started popping in the last 2 years, like deep fake and all of that. So we're gonna stop saying that these pictures of giants is AI. These is black and white pictures that was in newspaper. Look up the red hair giants of Loveless Cave in Nevada. Okay? Or is it, I'm not Loveless, Lovelock Cave. How are we faking that? How you telling me that these people that had a camera that had to press the button and then the fire explode and they got to run around and lift the curtain up? Now, they took a CGI AI photo. These people was catching orbs, that stuff that come out of your mouth when they do the trances and stuff, when they be and calling on Ouija board stuff. These people were taking pictures with cameras that had to explode to capture it, what was happening. Everything ain't fake, y'all. And why would we discount giants, but we believe that dinosaurs existed? Now, I know we getting into science and people are going to say those are millions and millions of years of differences there as far as why things were larger back then due to the increase in oxygen that was in the atmosphere, and mosquitoes were the size of dogs, and we had pterodactyls flying around, all these different things. But these people were going to tell you what a dinosaur sound like, which was like a mix between a lion and a cheetah, or a lion and a tiger. They're gonna tell you what a dinosaur looked like. It was scaly. Now they say they had feathers. It looked more like a bird. It sound more like a cat now. And then all these different things, but we're not gonna believe that there were giant people. We have races of people that no longer even exist. I'm sorry, not races, species of people that no longer exist. Neanderthals no longer exist. So they tell me, but I have seen some people that look, never mind. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Neanderthalish, okay? There are beings of people that no longer exist. Everyone today has one common ancestor that was 200,000 years ago on the African continent. That's mitochondrial Eve. We all some kin to her, so we all related. But we wouldn't believe that giants exist. We believe that giant butterflies and giant animals and the megalodon, giant fish, and We have giant octopus, we have giant squid, we have giant dinosaurs, a giant earth, giant mountains, all kinds of giant artifacts, but no giants. Hmm, interesting. Just a thought. Well, friends, just to kind of sum everything up and end this live, how long I've been live? I don't know. I don't even see the time up here, y'all. Y'all bear with me. I'm gonna get better at this. I promise you. That's my promise to you. If y'all see me looking over, I'm looking at my screen and also some of my notes I got over here. Um, but to sum everything up, the angels had a job to do, and that was to watch. Oh, I didn't see comments. Keisha, hey Keisha. Am Omega, yes, the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest Bible ever found. I actually did a story time on that, and the calendar too. Ethiopian calendar is one that seems to be accurate. They're a few years behind us, like 7 years. Angels are messengers, spiritual beings made in human form. Oh, thanks, Octavius. Peace to you. I hope you like it here. I do a lot of conspiracy things and story times on all kinds of stuff. Just tell me what you want, and I got you. But to sum everything up, y'all, if you were to take a look at the fallen angels and their story and align that with the Bible, you would see a lot of similarities, right? Basically, they was given a job to do. They failed at that job, just like Adam and Eve, given an option. They failed. One thing that they all have in common is free will. Um, God, in these cases, is not like holding the puppet strings, making people do things, but you have the option to do what it is that you want to do. They came down, they fell for carnalness, lust, and things like that. And they slept with the women. Okay. And because of that, they bore evilness on the earth. There was so much wrong. Not only did they bear evil children, they also taught evil things that corrupted the man's mind. Okay. And there had to be some type of destruction to to cleanse the earth. You know, water is a powerful powerful act of nature. It's also calm. You can look at a tsunami. People think of a tsunami as like some big wave that's 1,000 feet tall that's crashing and terrorizing the land. No, it's calm. The water slowly rises. Nothing you could do. You ain't outrunning no water. You get what I'm saying? So the water had to come and wash everything away and make everything clean again. And just to think, to speak metaphorically throughout the Bible, friends, you see that there are multiple covenants that are made to try to bring people back to God. And the last covenant that was made, so we no longer have to sacrifice animals, or we're no longer shut out from talking to God for 400 years. And we no longer have to go to angels and hope that angels can talk to God. And we no longer have to seek Enoch to see if Enoch can say something to God, or Elijah. You got Jesus now. Okay. Jesus is the covenant, the in between, so that you could talk to him. That's if you believe that. If you don't believe that, don't let me force no beliefs on you. But this is just based off of these books, right? And what they teach. But overall, the angels are awaiting judgment. I don't know if they've been judged yet, but child, the torture prison. You even see in Zeus, you have Hades, which is Zeus's brother, and the people go to the underworld. He even got a super hell called Tartarus for the super bad people, just like the torture prison with Enoch. But the angels have to face judgment, and the wives. This is what I did forget before I leave. The wives of the fallen angels, which because in the Bible, it won't no people standing up in front of an altar asking them to marry you. Once you hunched on that person, y'all was married. But see, now they don't do that. They don't do that. They just be going around marrying multiple people, hunching on multiple people. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say they because me too, but still, um, in the Bible, once they knew the woman, to know them was to be have intercourse, they became married. But the wives of the fallen angels, supposedly, apparently, allegedly, according to some of the texts, not in the Bible, but in the Watchers, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Giants, they became siren. hmm They became siren. Now, people think that sirens are mermaids, but they were not. They have gotten co-mingled with like Greek mythology when you talk about sirens. I think like Odysseus and stuff. Um, Sirens were not mermaids, but somehow over time they have become mermaids. And maybe there were different versions of sirens, but they were bird-like creatures because angels supposedly have wings. They had all of these animals that they crossbreeded, which were the monsters. So I'm sorry, y'all, this water is making me burp. But the angels were cursed. I mean, well, they were set to have judgment. They're chained up, and their wives they were cursed to be sirens. And maybe they became mermaids when the flood happened because they could not perish. They couldn't pass away. Where were they gonna go? Can't go to heaven. God said, "Not up here, you're not. Not up here, you're not. You're not coming up here. You'd have been tainted. This is not what I told you to do as a person. You done hunched on the angels and now you're stuck here." So maybe that's what they are in the ocean. The mermaids, the sirens, and they're evil. And the stories of the sailors that would sail in the ocean and hear something singing to them, and they'd go out there and get ate up by the siren because they bored, ain't got nothing to do. They want a man, can't get a man. Get down there and drown them as they try to hunch on them. Then now what? Now is he a siren too? I really don't know. I don't know, friends. Y'all gonna have to look into it and tell me what y'all think. This is not fact, fiction, or nonfiction. This is just what I have found out while minding my business being nosy. Y'all don't get me in trouble because they love to shut down conspiracy when we be telling folks stuff before it happened. And they be like, no, ain't no chemtrails. Ain't no such thing. Mm-hmm. No, none of that stuff was a hoax. It's real. Mm-hmm. They went to the moon, landed up there, and they ain't going back. But they trying to break net speed, get to Mars. Why? When the moon right in the backyard. Right in the backyard. Anyway, friends, don't get me started. Y'all know I'll go off on a tangent. I'm gonna get ready to end the live. I appreciate everyone who was watching and commented. If you want to see something, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Ismo Graham Crackers. You can follow me on TikTok, where typically I do about 2 to 3 story times a week. I do have ads over there, friends, because we got to pay the bills. I ain't got no ads over here. I ain't asked y'all for nothing over here, not yet. Cause I don't know what's today. Y'all got your tax money yet? Y'all got y'all tax money yet? Let me put my cash up here next time, just in case y'all feel like you want to bless me. But follow me on Instagram at Ismo Graham Crackers. Follow me on TikTok, where I'm the most active on at Ismo Graham Crackers. It's the same on every platform. Follow me on Facebook, Ismo Graham Crackers. And of course, here on YouTube, if you have not liked, please like the video. It costs you nothing. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to subscribe. I'm going to try to make this a weekly thing, right? And also still upload edited videos so you don't have to hear all of my rambling and talking, okay? And if you want to talk to me, feel free to drop a comment in the chat because now I can see it. I couldn't see it before, but now I can see it. And I really hope this live ain't get y'all up in too much of a tizzy. And I'm going to call y'all back later on, friends. Bye.